Okay, so this session is being recorded, so everybody should know that. And yeah, so the agenda for today is that we are going to first look at the mobile applications in general and how are they different from web applications, because that's where a lot of people get confused. You can expect from this workshop in the 3 days, so you can make up your decision whether you want to continue or not. Then we're also going to be talking about the Android Club that is going to start in SIT under DSC. And finally, we will start with a little bit of Kotlin today, because that is what we are going to be using throughout this workshop. So this is the session. It's a rather small compared to the remaining 2 days, and a less hands-on and more theoretical today. So let's start. Mobile applications in general. So how many of you guys use Instagram or Netflix or Amazon or even WhatsApp on your mobile phone? And the question is, would you rather use the app, or would you want to use it on the browser? So the simple answer is, it's a rhetorical question. You would obviously want to download the app and run the app on the phone. So what separates a mobile application from a website or a front end? The thing is that the front end is constricted or restricted to whatever the capabilities are there of the browser. Okay, your front end website is going to be running inside the browser, whereas the mobile application runs directly on the OS, right? So there's a difference, because these applications are much faster, they are more responsive, and you can do a lot more than what you can do from a website. Okay, so as I said, mobile applications are very powerful. Okay, because you have the ability to utilize everything that is there on your phone, starting from your camera to your storage to your sensors to feedbacks through vibrations, and all of the sensors that are there on your phone. You can access all of them, which you might actually have to use any inbuilt browser capabilities if you were using a web browser or a website rather. So for any application, any big application that you find, Netflix or Amazon or any of these big applications, they mostly prefer building apps for Android rather than just putting their websites so that you can view it on the browser. Mainly because to leverage what your phone can do. And trust me, this gives a lot of power because people have to install the app on your phone rather than just visiting it one time. Okay, so you can store data on the phone, store data and make it faster, and it is far more optimized for the people's use. All right, so I think I've established that mobile applications are much powerful than websites. uh, in the same way, they are very complicated too, because when you have so many degrees of freedom, uh, you can pack a single app with a number of features. Okay, I'll give you different types of features which for example, Swiggy applications are said to be very fast. One of the uh, reason why it is very complicated is because they have something called as dynamic modules, wherein they put in features that only few people are going to use. Okay, so when you know that only few people are going to use this feature, you only download that feature for those people who are actually going to use it, thereby saving the size of the application, thereby optimizing the application for the user's experience. So there is a lot of ways you can build an Android app or any mobile app for that matter, and that is why it becomes really complicated to track your databases and your design and your user interface, because you wouldn't want to use an application that is slow and everything. So mobile applications are complicated, but they are fun to build, and you can add a lot of features into them. And to learn to build mobile applications is a different thing altogether, because to start building mobile applications, a lot of people have a really good motivation to pursue an online course or something, try to learn things by themselves. But it is vast and it is so easy to get lost in the sea of knowledge that a lot of people, when they encounter any kind of errors throughout their development or learning phase, oftentimes they get demoted. All right, because visibly, whatever effort that you're putting in, you might think that you're not achieving anything much, and it is, the number of people who drop out of these courses is is really high. You might have also experienced this yourself. It is very easy to get demotivated from online courses when it takes too long, or when you stuck to the error. So the whole point of this workshop is so that we are all, learning together with an instructor, which is live here at in front of you. All right. So that you're getting to a point where you don't need an instructor any longer. You don't get that demotivated, and you're able to build apps which are good enough that you can even solve errors yourself. Okay. This is the point of the study jams actually. The whole point of study jams was so that people are able to get to a point that they don't fear errors any longer. They get to a point that they can either ask their friends to solve the errors for you, or all that. So this what we are going to be doing is we are going to be doing code labs on Android's website, on Google Developers website. And the way it is going to work is that you have to solve those code labs, and I'm going to be taking several practicals for the code labs. Code labs is nothing but small courses, kind of a thing where you are learning about one thing at a time, so that you don't get lost into the number of things that you have to learn. And this is in a way an online course, but it is different because this is no way a simple course. Okay, it is not a very basic course or introduction or anything. This is actually what you need. By the time you complete this, you might as well get working and building production level applications. Okay, this is enough to get you a project that can get you maybe an internship or some freelancing work. This is not basic stuff. This is actually hardcore stuff. You're going to be learning Android Jetpack, and all of the content is actually up to date. Some people who might have already developed an Android application in this crowd right now, you might have noticed how quickly things change in Android. Something that you learned maybe a year ago or maybe 6 months ago is actually irrelevant, or what they call deprecated, because things are changing really quickly. Google releases a new Android version every year, right? So SDK changes are also happening simultaneously. There's something new happening. So that is not something that you have to worry with this course, because this is up to date. It is made by Google developers, and you will learn everything from the fundamentals to some really interesting stuff that is there in Android Jetpack. And you're going to learn everything in Kotlin. And let me tell you, this is a very good thing for your academics, because not only your academics, right now it is January. By the end of February, there will be so many emails given to you for hackathons, like Smart India Hackathon or even DSC Hackathon, or the list goes on and on, because you have so many hackathons going in this time of the year. In a lot of the hackathons, you have to build a client, like a mobile client, because a lot of places require a mobile client for their applications. So for that also, this is a very useful project. So and also you'll be getting certificates if you complete it. So I think I have done enough to sell you. Okay, no, there is Android Club also starting, and people who are completing this course properly will get a chance to actually be part of the Android Club at SIT. You will, by the end of the course, you will have at least 10 batches on your Google developer profile. And you may not have heard of this yet, but this is actually something that is there in beta, google.dev. And you will get badges. You will get your own developer profile over there. So now that we know why you should even take part in this workshop, why you should spend 3 days learning Android, let's see what you will be doing in the next 3 days. It is self-paced and hands-on, meaning you'll have to complete stuff yourself. There is code labs, and you have to install Android Studio on your device. You have to learn concepts, and you have to perform them right there, and then in the end of it, you have to give a quiz, which is going to verify whether you have learned the concept or not. I will be taking live session on important topics tomorrow and day after, wherein I'm going to be covering those code labs which are somewhat difficult to do by yourself. So I will be taking different examples from what are there in the code labs, much more relatable, much more interesting examples. And by the end of it, as I said, you will be able to build applications yourself. So there will be an app building competition at the end of the workshop. So, and whoever gets their, whoever wins this competition, their application is actually going to go to the Google for verification and stuff. So here's the plan for 3 days. Today, we learned about mobile applications, and we will be learning about Kotlin and Android Studio and stuff. Tomorrow, we will be going more towards the UI and the layout side of things. We will be learning about fragments, and we'll be learning about how to navigate between fragments. We will also learn about constraint layout tomorrow and about activity lifecycles. Day after tomorrow, we will go into much more depth of stuff. We will learn about architectural components and databases, like I said before in the beginning of the session. We will be learning about how to get data from the internet, from a REST API, and how do you download images, and how does all of that work without breaking the application, right? We will be learning about recycler views, which is also a very important concept. And there will be, if time permits, we'll be talking about design. Day 2 and day 3 are going to be more hands-on. Today, we are just going over the overview. And to come to the point of the workshop, we will be working on Kotlin. And the very obvious question is why? Why do we do Kotlin? Why not go with Flutter or React Native for that matter? And why not use Java? Uh, so the answer is that Flutter by itself is a very different thing, and Android is a different thing. Flutter is a multi-platform ecosystem. It works on top of Android as well as iOS. Kotlin, however, it is a programming language, and we use that to write programs for Android SDK. So Android SDK is the native uh, development for the Android applications. So the applications that you build using Kotlin are more versatile and more feature packed as compared to Flutter, because for Flutter you have to actually run something in between the Android SDK to be able to do stuff. So if all the powers that I have explained that mobile applications are very powerful, in case of Flutter that may not be as much of a case, because for Flutter you have to actually write a particular library, and you have to check if somebody has made a library for that particular feature that you want to utilize for a particular phone. That is not the case for Kotlin, because Kotlin is native. So any new feature that comes out for Android in the newer Android versions, all of that will be directly available on Kotlin. Same goes for React Native, and I have listed out these points. Jobs. What jobs means is that a lot of people work on Kotlin rather than Flutter. Sooner or later, they shift to Kotlin or native for that matter. And I'll tell you the reasons for that later when we discuss about Java. So it is more likely for you to find a job for for Kotlin or Java than Flutter or React Native. For I talked about this, right? Features exclusive to Android. And Kotlin also have multi-platform. Now, this is kind of a different thing that I wanted to talk about. See, Kotlin, like I said, it's a programming language. It works on top of Java virtual machine, and that is why you can work with Java and Kotlin simultaneously. However, because Kotlin is a programming language, and the developers of Kotlin, that is JetBrains, they have prepared Kotlin multi-platform. That is a separate thing that is very similar to Flutter or React Native, to that matter. So if you're learning Kotlin, your skills in Kotlin for Android are also going to be translating to Kotlin for multi-platform. So you don't think that you will not be able to build multi platform applications like web applications or iOS applications just by learning Flutter. in future, maybe you'll be able to learn Kotlin. You'll be able to implement it with Kotlin also. You can use Kotlin to build backend applications also. There's something called as Spring Boot or even Ktor, and using both of them, you can build backend applications like microservices and whatnot. I'm seeing this question in chat. I'm horrible in Java. Is this going to be tough for me? Horrible in Java. What does that mean? Thing is that it's okay if you don't know the syntax, because you can look that up anytime. What you do need to know for this is you should know the object-oriented concepts. That's it. And even if you don't know that, it's okay. You can ask me. Okay, I'm going to be there to help throughout the workshop. Okay. I think there's an important point that I missed while explaining how this workshop is going to work. While you all are doing the code labs, I'm going to be available to you. I'm going to be available on the Discord server, on the Discord DSC server, on the Android Study Jams channel. I'm not sure if you can see this, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be available on Discord. So if you have any doubts during the code labs that you're doing, okay, any time of the day, I will be there. I will be available over there. Okay, in these sessions, right, I'm just going to be presenting stuff that is, generalized, okay, for everyone. So I think that answers your question, and I have added the point. Now, compared to Java, how Kotlin works, right? Kotlin and Java are interoperable, meaning that you can have one project in which you have a Kotlin file, and you have another project. The same project, you can have another file that is written in Java. Okay, you can have them both work simultaneously, and the reason is that Kotlin is compiled for Java Virtual Machine. Now, if you don't know what Java Virtual Machine is, then I'll just tell you very quickly that every Java code works on top of a Java Virtual Machine. So when I'm saying that Kotlin runs also on Java Virtual Machine, you can work with both of them together. Now, how is it better than Java? That is something that you should know. The first point is null safety. If you have not worked with Java, you may not know about this, but those of you who have, you know how annoying it is to get null pointer exception as an error, right? So null pointer exceptions will not happen in this. Okay, null pointer exception, if you don't know, it is a runtime error that that will only come when when you're running the application, and then it is very annoying because you have to run the application to find out that there is an error. Instead of that, what Kotlin offers is compile time errors. In terms of nullability, it does not allow variables to be null. So in specifically in case of Android, when you get null pointer exception, your app crashes. All right, that is not a good user experience. You don't want that to happen, and that is why Kotlin is very good for Android, because you have null safety. Second thing is type inference. Okay, we will see that right now in few minutes. What it means is that for Kotlin, you don't have to explicitly, tell Kotlin ki kaun sa variable hai. You don't have to specify the data type of the variable every time. Kotlin will do that for you. You have to just provide it data, and it will identify the data type itself. And because of all of this, it has very less compared to Java, the boilerplate code. Boilerplate code means, excess stuff. In Java, those of you who have worked on Java, you may know that you have to, even for the main function, you have to make a class. And inside the class, you have to write the main function like public, static, void, main, string, arguments, whatever. So in Kotlin, let's see, Kotlin, you don't have all of that. You have simple main function and everything. So Kotlin is a very recent language. It was made in 2011, I guess, and it's very modern. It's functionally written, and yeah, as I said, it's interoperable with Java. It is expressive and concise. It is safer as in null safety, and it has structured concurrency. We will talk more about this later, maybe tomorrow, because to explain concurrency in a 1 hour session is very unfair for me. I'll take few questions. Maybe I should, slow down a little bit. Okay, so Shivam Sharma, uh, see, if you're good enough in Flutter, then why not learn Kotlin also, right? You can always have this on your belt. And native applications, it is. I'm not saying that Flutter is of no use or anything. They are both have their own use cases. And when you're in college, right, what you must be focusing upon is exploration rather than learning one simple thing. So I would recommend you learn, explore different concepts. So in case of Flutter, in case of Kotlin, what you should do is you should try building a project so that you have much better understanding of what you can expect. What you can leverage in Kotlin. You already know how Flutter works, and you know how Firebase works. So now you can these are for services, right? Firebase is a managed service. Now you can, with Kotlin, you can build your own backend and your application from scratch. So it will help you a lot in learning stuff, especially in your fifth semester, maybe when you learn about databases and software engineering. At that time, when you have to design classes, when you have to design databases, that is where all this comes in, helpful. Like I said, it is going to help you academically a lot, learning Android, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of software engineering stuff that is involved here. On the surface, it may even seem a little bit simple, but then you can go into a lot of depth, and there's a lot of support for Kotlin also. Okay, so any more questions, or should I just proceed? I'll wait for like a minute if there are any questions. Okay, so there's this question. I wanted to know whether I should learn Java now as I'm learning Python right now. So should I do it simultaneously? See, the thing is that if you're learning one object-oriented programming language, uh, the only thing that is going to be different is the syntax, mostly. Okay, and some language-specific features and specific jargons maybe. But uh, I don't think you should learn two similar type of languages together. Granted that Python is a much more higher level language where compared to Java, it is more of a little bit lower because it has C type syntaxes, and it is kind of similar to Python actually. But if you understand the object oriented concepts of Python, then I don't think you have to switch to Java. For writing Android applications, you have to learn Kotlin. And don't worry, it is not that difficult, especially when you know the object-oriented concepts. You will learn it very quickly. And even if you don't know, you will still learn it very quickly. It is not that difficult. And if you have any issues, you can obviously contact me on Discord. Now, Android development is Kotlin first. So in 2017, Google had announced that Android is going to support Kotlin first, as in all the libraries that Google is going to support are going to be first coming out for Kotlin, and then it's going to come out for Java, mainly because they wanted everybody to switch from Java to Kotlin. And the result is great because 70% of top Android apps are actually written in Kotlin rather than Java. And because you can have Kotlin code and Java code interoperable, there is no wastage because you can migrate your existing application that is in Java to Kotlin also. So in that way, Kotlin is a very beneficial thing, and it is fun to develop in Kotlin, to be honest. Now, remember I was talking about main function in Java. This is the main function in Kotlin. If you're seeing the difference, okay, it's very simple, right? It's a very simple hello world application. You must be knowing this. Um, it's just print line hello world, and this is the syntax for functions. Okay, fun main. So it will output hello world, and this is another type of function. Okay, you see the way the functions are written is quite simple. Okay, there's no extra stuff that you have to write here. it will interpret whatever it is. In case of here, they have specified the data type. Here also they have specified the data type, and here they have specified the return type. Okay. These are two ways of writing functions in Kotlin. So we will look at variables. I hope you guys are programming from beforehand, right? You have prior programming experience. I forgot to ask you in the beginning, but I think it's okay. You must be knowing what are variables. So in Kotlin, you have two types of variables. One is called mutable variable, and the other one is called immutable variable. Okay, var and val. Var as in variable, and val as in value. Maybe, I don't know. The difference is that val is final. Okay, you cannot change it in future, whereas var is going to stay the same throughout. Okay. Now, why does this difference even matter, right? This difference matters when you want to optimize. So what happens to a programming language when it gets compiled to a bytecode and everything? There it is a very important thing that you use val wherever possible, because that optimizes the speed of the application. So when you know that you're not going to modify this variable's value, like for example, if the name is Rebecca and I don't want to change it in the future throughout my program, then I would rather initialize it with val than var, because I know for a fact that it is going to be faster comparatively. Yeah, can you see over here where we are declaring a variable, we are writing var counter, and then we are writing the return type. Okay, notice this. Here we don't have a return type over here, right? But it is still going to compile. And the reason why it is going to compile is because Kotlin has type inference. Okay. Like I said before, it can identify the data type of the variable by itself. So it knows that length, because I'm giving it 5, it has to be an integer. That message that I'm giving it a string, so it has to be a string. So that kind of type inference is not there in Java. It is there over here. The person who talked about Python, it is there in Python also. So there's some similarity over there. So this is the syntax for if and else. And on the right, when is the equivalent of switch statement, kind of. Okay, you have switch statement in C and in Java also. So this works very similar way. And you don't have to write any block of statements. You have to just call the function, and it does the job. So the way when works is they have a variable over here, and then whatever the value may be, it is going to point out to that, and it is only going to call that function. You don't have to write break or anything over here. The if and else statements, they are pretty much the same, and I think you must be knowing about this. Classes are important because this is what we are going to be using the most. Okay. See, when I'm talking about Android development, right? See, programming language is not as important for you to understand everything there is to know about this programming language, every feature and everything. No, you must understand how the software development kit is written. Okay, the SDK. So we will not be using so many simple classes. We will be using Android classes. So for you to understand those, you should understand this, right? So to declare a class that has very few variables, okay, you can just declare it like this. Okay, it does not have any body or anything. It just has the variable. Okay, if you know, classes are a collection of attributes and methods, or maybe variables and functions is what it is mostly called as. So here we have a class that has only variables inside it. Okay, we have a class called square that has a variable called side. That is the only variable that is there inside this class. There is no function or anything. And here we are creating an instance of that class. Okay, when you call this circular brackets, then you are calling the constructor. Another way of writing classes is like this. So you have a class of person wherein you have children as a mutable list. So maybe a list that is, that is an attribute. And then you have a constructor or a function that is doing some methods inside the class. Some other things that you will have to learn about in Kotlin is collections. So there are three collections that we are seeing over here. There is list of, set of, map of. Uh, if you know collections already, I'm guessing you don't. Collections are basically, when you have a single data type and you want to store multiple objects of the same data type. For example, if you want to store multiple variables like integers, you store it in a list, right? So to create a list, you just write this sentence: list of, set of. And this is a map. So map is basically, pairs. You have a key and a value, so a key value pair. Uh, so the thing is that for me to teach you Kotlin like this on a presentation, we may take a lot of time and we may not even get anywhere, probably. So do you have any doubts till now before I proceed? I'll wait for a minute. If you have any doubts, please write them down in the chat. Um, don't have any doubts, let me know. You guys are there, right? Okay, fine. So thing is that for me to explain each and everything there is to Kotlin, you may not understand it completely. And thing is that I believe in learning by doing stuff. And that is why this is a workshop. So you will have to learn stuff by doing. So there is this thing called as Kotlin Codes. This is something that is made by JetBrains, the creator of the language. And what they have done is they have listed exercises for you to, learn Kotlin quickly. So there is this website, and within the website itself, or maybe if you have an IDE, you can install this thing inside the IDE also. There are a list of exercises which you can complete, and they are structured such that it will be very easy for you to learn. Okay. Apart from that, there is Kotlin Playground where you can, uh, test out your Kotlin code. Okay, online on the website. So right now, I need you guys to go to this link. Okay, I will also open it. I'll put it in chat. Okay. Okay, so I've put the link in chat. I'll open it. Okay, so this is what is going to open. Okay, so for those of you who are there, like for those of you who are there who have no programming experience at all, okay, like you have not written a single line of code in any programming language, be it C or Python or any language for that matter, you guys can start this thing. Okay, the thing on the left, new to programming. Okay, the problem with this is that for this you will not get any certificates. That is an issue. Okay, for those of you who are who have prior programming experience but don't know Kotlin, because we'll be using that for the rest of the workshop, and everybody needs to know the syntax at least for completing the code labs. You can start with Kotlin Codes. Okay, click on this. I'll open this in a new tab. So you have it right here. Okay, this is the same thing that you saw in the presentation behind. And when you start, okay, you have these different exercises over here. Okay, so if I just redo this, so there is some text over here which tells you what this thing is supposed to do. So it is a very simple hello world application for now for uh, this exercise, and then soon it goes on to really complicated stuff. There is data classes, there's lambdas, there's strings, there's nullables, extensions. Okay, I don't expect you to complete this thing entirely. Okay, like it is not fair for me to make you do the entire thing. But it will be good if you do the introduction at least and some conventions. Okay, for loops and destructors and invokers, all of that. These two things, if you can complete, that will be good. I'll show you how this works. Like it is written over here that you have to write the function to return a string saying okay. So this is how you do it. Okay, they have written where to do has to be. They want me to return okay, so that's what I'm going to do. and it works. So that is about it. Okay. You have to complete at least the introduction so that you know the syntax of Kotlin by actually doing it. Okay. And if you need any help, I'm there on Discord. Uh, we will see what else can you expect from the workshop now. Okay, I'm finishing up what we were doing with Kotlin. Okay, so I'm just going to be covering what is the workshop going to do now henceforth. Okay, this is the code labs that I was talking about. Okay, so there are 2 units. Each unit has 5 code labs. Okay, after completing each code lab, you will get a badge. Okay, and for you to complete this workshop, you have to complete all 10 of them, and they are not they increase in difficulty, and they are very nicely and very very comprehensively written, very concisely written. For example, if I've opened this one, it has 3 different code labs inside of it. So you can see it has all the information over here. You don't have to do this today. I'm just showing it to you now so that if you want to get ahead before the lectures, before tomorrow and the after session, then you can check it out. So this one is about adding fragments. So this is something that we are also going to see, but we will be taking a different example rather than doing the same one, so that you have a much more clear understanding. Okay, because for me to take 1 hour sessions and teach you Android would be a little bit too much for me to teach and for you to understand also. Rather, this entire thing is more hands-on and more practical. And I know that it might be a lot for me to ask, but I'm asking you to practically do stuff to things. And I think that's the best way of learning. Eventually, you will get a certificate for completing this. Okay, you have to complete the code labs, and when you do, you can take a quiz, and so this is where you can test your knowledge. So this is how the workshop flow is going to be. Okay, are there any doubts? I know I have kind of rushed, but do you still have any doubts? You can unmute yourself, I think. No, you cannot. It's okay. I can't change that setting. So any doubts? Okay, so I'll just repeat once again what we are going to do. Could you show again where to take the final quiz? Okay, there is no single final quiz for Kotlin. There is nothing. It is just that you should at least go through this for yourself, because this entire thing, right? It is going to be making you writing code in Kotlin. So you should understand what is happening here. Don't worry, I will explain everything, but then I won't be explaining the simple stuff, right? That what is a variable and what is this override statement doing here, right? What is inheritance? What is object? All of that. I can't be explaining all of that. I will maybe, but it will be very time consuming. I would much rather focus on Android concepts, which are very difficult to understand for a beginner. But once you know them, uh, it is very easy for you to build applications. Okay. Throughout this code labs, right, you will be building a number of applications, like a dice application. You'll be building a a data application, okay, similar to maybe Stack Overflow kind of demo that I will be giving you. You'll be making a sleep monitor, sleep tracker app. There is a trivia app. There is a quiz kind of application. Okay, it is kind of fun, to be honest. Okay, even for me, I already knew Android development, and I still found this, very nice, because a lot of the things over here are even new for me, because things in Android change really quickly. So this is a very up-to-date system, by the way. Uh, Trust me when I say that, because when I have been developing applications, uh, things used to be very different, and all of these tools were not there. We used to use Eclipse and stuff, and now there is Android Studio, and now there's a navigation ka separate library. Those of you who have worked on Android from before, you must be knowing how difficult it was to work with fragments, but now they have made it very easy. So yeah, are we expected to complete some of Kotlin Code's topics? uh, I'm not going to be checking, but it would be good if you do, because honestly it is for your understanding. Okay, thing is that if you don't understand, if you're not able to do these, right, I'm saying to do introduction at least, maybe till here only, till extension functions or object expressions, maybe till here at least. If you can do that, will be great, because for tomorrow's session, it is not going to be me talking a lot. Okay, it won't be more of the presentation, it will be more of me explaining you the concepts inside Android Studio. Okay, so because that will take a lot of time, right? When you're doing hands-on session in 1 hour sessions, you can do uh, there's only so much that you can do in 1 hour session, right? We will take more sessions if required, but there should be interest from you guys also. Okay, like there has to be interaction, it cannot be only one-sided. That is why the Discord channel was there, because just by hosting the session we won't be doing stuff. Hopefully you guys find this interesting. I know today we are only looking at Kotlin, but tomorrow when we start with the actual demos, it will be fun. If you want, you can check out the first one. The first one is mainly for getting started and installing Android Studio. You can do this if you want. Uh, it is nothing. It is only about installing the Android Studio on your device, and maybe you should do that, because Android Studio installation itself sometimes takes a lot of time for people. It took for me at least, and I know several people for whom it took also. So you can do that. Apart from that, I didn't tell you, for doing this, right, you have to actually sign into your developer profile. So I'll just sign in over here just to show it to you how it looks. Okay, so this is my developer profile. I'll let it load. So this is my developer profile. See, I also had to complete all of these uh, all of these courses beforehand, and it was not not boring at all, because a lot of these concepts are actually very interesting, because this is not basic. Okay, this is actually uh, fundamentals rather than basic. Okay, the basic was the other thing. This is Android basics in Kotlin. This is Android fundamentals. This is enough content to get you somewhere. After this, if you build one project or learn a little bit more about Android Jetpack and the newer things, you might actually build applications that can you can publish on Play Store and stuff. So that is something. It's very good to put. And I'm using my Gmail ID, my own Gmail ID. You can use your SIT ID, or you can use your personal one also. It's okay. It's your choice. This will create a developer profile. Developer profile is actually something new. So it is still in beta, and that's why you might encounter some bugs over here, but it's okay. When they finally launch out the actual website, this is just the beta version, the test version. When they launch the final version, then you will have so many badges over here. All of these badges, I'm not doing anything extra, I'm only doing these, and I also had to complete this. So those of you who don't know programming at all, this is only for them. Okay, it is going to teach you from starting, from what hello world is, to get your application running and everything. So it's not bad. It's just that you don't have certificate for this one. For those of you who are confused, which is this one, which is that one, this is the new to programming, and then this is the prior to programming. You're supposed to complete Kotlin Codes if you can, and you have to start this course maybe tomorrow. And if you are getting into it, then maybe just do it today. Yeah, so I think that should conclude the session for today. I will be there on Discord if you have any issues. And yeah, we will meet tomorrow at 7 o'clock again. We will be doing some practicals tomorrow. I will be talking about more toward Android than toward Kotlin. Today's session was more towards our mobile applications in general and how they are different from websites and all that. I hope all of that was quite informative for you also. Understand that these are client applications, not backend applications, and there is a lot of depth that you can add into the client applications, because this is where the customer is actually going to interact with, right? This is the first user interface, so all of your user experience is built over here. If I have to tell you something, why I like Android, I would say because any changes that you make here, you can actually visibly see them, right? So you get a sense of satisfaction from that. Can we please send the schedule for the workshop, or it will be at 7 every day? It will be at 7 every day because I'm not free before that. That's the problem. And we will be doing two more sessions tomorrow and day after that are going to be there compulsorily. After that, if you want any more sessions to be there, we will obviously will do that. And apart from that, we are also starting the Android Club. Like I said, we have to do that. We will do that sometime before the next semester starts, maybe. So that is about it. Any more doubts? Any questions apart from anything? I will do one thing. You will have to RSVP for the event again, for tomorrow's event also, and for day after tomorrow's event also. So for that also, right, you will have to, I'll just start the event now. Okay. I'll put the link over here also, and I'll put it in the WhatsApp group also. I hope all of you are there in the Discord server of DSC. Okay, if you are not there, then Bisht has put the link to the Discord server, and you can check me over there. Okay, there is intra club section has this channel called Android Study Jams or Study Jams Android. Over there, you can put out any queries. I will put out the link where you can register for tomorrow's session inside the WhatsApp group, as well as over here in the Discord server. And also I will see if we can have the voice channel also for this thing, because maybe we'll need that for doubts. I think we can conclude the session now, right? If you have any doubts, then let me know. I'll just wait for another 2 minutes, and then we will end today's session. Do go through Kotlin resources, and there's actually a lot more resources than Kotlin Codes, but this is the one which is, it is actually getting you to do stuff, and it is much more easier to learn stuff when you're doing it. If you don't want to do this, but you have another resource that you want to go through, it's fine. But do understand Kotlin a little bit at least. If you know Java, shifting to Kotlin is not that big a deal. It's actually much more satisfying because you don't have to write semicolons anymore. I still have a habit of writing semicolons while I'm writing my code in Kotlin. Kotlin just ignores it, so it's okay. Okay, so there are 25, 24 people right now in the meeting, and I hope all of you attend tomorrow's session. There's no pressure that you have to, learn stuff, and there's homework and everything. This is a club, and we will try and we will, make it very fun. I'm stopping recording right now.